Great day, everybody. What's up? It's your girl Asada here on Gathering of the Griots. Oh, it's a lovely Tuesday morning, and we love the energy we bring with Black Writers. That's right, the Soulful Chicago Book Fair just keeps it moving, and Gathering of the Griots is part of that. So today we got a great show with a great brother who just got great energy, and he's bringing the poetry to the table. You know, we do things all Black and literary. But before we start, I want you to check out the Female Solution because you might not know what it is, but you're going to know what it is in a minute. It is the platform we're sitting on. If it wasn't for the Female Solution, we might not even be here. So stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back after these quick Female Solution messages. Peace.
Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
All right, there we are. And like I said, you're tuned into Gathering of the Griots, Female Solution. Thank you, Naima Latif, for the opportunity to be here. And man, let's get it in. Why wait one more minute? So without further ado, I'm going to bring a brother to the stage that I just love his energy. It's just that simple. And you just got to love energy from the South. It's just something different. So let's find out about it. Let's bring on my man, Rasshaan Bolden Bay. What's up, brother?
Greetings. How's everybody doing?
Y'all see how mellow he is? Woo! It's
Yeah,
different than my craziness, but you know, it's good all the same. So yeah,
it's
thank
a
you for being.
balance.
It's a good balance, right? That's what we got
Yeah,
to do in my life. I'll be like, let me get some mellow people. Like my daughter's a Virgo and she just mellow. And so she'd be looking at me like, sometimes you're like a toddler. I'd be like, whatever. That's okay. I'm gonna make it that way. But it's good in life to be surrounded by energies that you said, like you said, balance you. So thank you for being here today. And we're going to get into it, not delay another minute. So one of the things I want to know is, I want to know so much, but you have a company that sort of is the umbrella for the book that we're about to talk about. And I want you to talk a little bit about that. It's called Indigo and Quill. Is that what it's called?
yes. Indigo and Quill was the idea that I had for putting this piece of work out because I have another book that's co-authored with my writing buddy Corey Hops, who's been on the show as well.
Yeah.
And it I just didn't want to go the traditional route of using Amazon or any other platforms to use it. I want to, when I write something, I create something, then I get everything from it, and I have to split everything. So that was how Indigo and Quill started. Um, just even picking the name Indigo and thinking about what indigo meant and how we used indigo. Here in the South, we used to use the indigo and on the making jeans or clothes and using that dye and just different things that I've learned about indigo. So thinking about indigo and then the quill, of course, you use the quill for writing. So, but just telling my story through poetry.
Yeah. Yeah, no doubt about it. Now I noticed, and I'm gonna show this image again. So you got the Indigo and Quill company, and that is like that's your publisher, like that's your company that publishes your book, correct?
Yes, yes,
Yeah, very smart, very smart. Because even my books, and especially my latest book, it don't say any publisher. It say Asada Sense Consulting boop, as the publisher. So
yeah.
understand about you having control over it. Now, this Steel Quill Collective, pen paper power. Explain that. How is that connected?
So Still Quill Collective is it's another company, but it's more of Hops and I. When I say Hops, and Corey Hops and
Mm-hmm.
I, as well as two other brothers three other brothers that are in our collective, because we have our good DJ Doc Ock, we have our other performer Balance, Michael Harrington, and then we have Corey Phillips, who we affectionately call Moby or
Okay.
Moses Brown. And we go and we perform at different functions and venues and things like that, or do like open mics under Steel Quill Collective. And that's where we have people come out and to the open mics, or if it's some kind of event that we're doing or hosting, that's what Steel Quill is for.
Got you. Y'all check it out. So that's my man Rasshaan, and that's Corey Hobbs that he was just talking about. This is them in Chicago. They literally came to the Soulful Chicago Book Fair this summer, and that is all the way from Savannah, Georgia. So I am so humbled that you came all the way to our lovely show there. I was kind of out of commission because I had a stroke last year. So when I was at the event, I didn't even know that if I could fully do it or not. So I wasn't as interactive, but I'm so happy that you were there and it made it so that you here right now. So there's that. And you can see the logo for their company there. I love that. And this QR code, is this for buying your book? What is this QR code
That's
for?
actually for my Instagram.
Got you. So that will take them to your world on Instagram.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So if y'all see that, go ahead and boop, boop, get that QR code and you can see more of this brother there big time. So we're going to go into your book and sort of the what is it, the why, and all of that. So tell me a little bit about the title. What does it mean? Why is it called Runner's High? What's up with that?
So Renaissance came out of a necessity and through a period of downtime. When I say downtime, I was actually one of my outlets is running. Was That's one of my things that I like to do as far as exercise, and it also helps me gather my thoughts for when I'm writing. And so I was running, and I was on a street here in Savannah. You know, for all my Savannah people, I was on Victory Drive, and I was about to cross over the street, but I saw a car. So I said, well, let me not run in front of the car. Let me run behind the car. And the driver backs up. So I try to switch position. And then in the midst of me switching positions, my mind was like, yeah, but my body was like, nah, you told us to go right. You trying to make us go left. So my foot misses and I buckle and I was injured. So, you know, people stopping cars. I'm in the street. I'm like in a not it's not an intersection, but I'm in between two streets like Jefferson and Victory Drive, and like people stopping cars like, you all right? But the runner in me is like, I'm okay, I'm all right. Da, 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 da. I just want to get up and finish because my whole thing is finish. And you know, for
Okay.
all the people who live and watching the show, if you are a runner, your thing is just getting back to where you started. That's the biggest thing, you know. Um, I have a piece called Saint that talks about that too. It's just getting home, reaching sanctuary.
Mm,
And when I couldn't run anymore, it just was kind of like and so my other outlet is writing. That's one of my biggest outlets. And so I had to transform all of that energy and put into the runner's high, putting
wow.
everything together, learning how to self-publish, learning what to do, how
Yeah.
to do it, doing things wrong, getting
Yeah.
things right,
Yeah.
who to contact, what to do, what steps are next, and then actually getting to the point like when my wife was like, yo, well, what do you got the stuff together? It's time to put
Uh-huh.
it out. It's time to actually publish it and get it done. And so that's the long-winded way of saying that's where the name Runner's High came from.
Yo, that is so good because that's not how I was even thinking of it at all. Like I just was like runner's high. Okay. Like I didn't know the concept. Now this make a whole different meaning. Like, no, I'm dealing with a runner's high. I
Right.
love running, and that just totally changed the vibe to me. And then what explain to me a little bit about the art, because this is a very clear, you got an eye and the head, and I'm seeing the spine and so there's a connection, the a color burst. I see some celestial in the background. What is that energy that is the art behind the front of your book?
Well, first I want to shout out the artist Abney Henderson, who um who I met through my wife and a group of other women, and I saw some of her work and I was like, yeah, I think she could do the illustrations for the book, and we were able to like talk and chop it up on what it is that I wanted, and she just had some things that I just felt was like, okay, this is what I want. But then when she started coming up with different pieces, it was like, okay, yeah, this is exactly what I want. Um, I'm a big Silver Surfer fan, so this is kind of loosely based off of like Silver Surfer. If anybody knows like Norman Rad and his story, and just being like you said, the celestial look and how he would be on the surfboard, but cruising through space. So it's sort of similar to that, and it's just kind of like how I feel like when I'm running and I'm gathering my thoughts and putting them together so later I can write them down. But
Nice.
that's how I feel like when I'm out there running, so I can put my thoughts together. I usually have music, but it's kind of like being in two or three different worlds at one time. Like, because I might hear something that the from the music that I'm listening to and be inspired to write something else. Or, sometimes I may not have any music, so it's like I'm really in my head and I can hash things out and self-reflect, deal with
Nice.
deal with thoughts and try to plan for the day and keep things moving. But like Bob said, we live in our head.
Yeah. What I'm loving is how, and I need for you as an audience to look at how one can take thoughts and transfer them into different manifestations of your life. Here's somebody who loved running, who thinks through things as he runs, but now because he couldn't run the same way, he transferred it to writing. So, some people just life changes and they give up, and then they don't do anything anymore, as opposed to, no, you just in a body. It's a spirit in a body. So now make a decision about how the spirit is going to continue to manifest itself in different forms, and I love that. We talked a little bit yesterday about you, and it's not just about poetry, but it's about art. And I want to show this image because is this the artist
That's
that
the artist, Abney Henderson. She has wonderful work.
nice, nice. And so we're going to look at even that piece that sits there. We're going to look at that. Well, maybe let's look at it now. I mean, you ready? We ready to get some poetry spit. Don't play with me. We ain't gonna have no poet on here, and we don't rock out. So why don't we do the poem now? And I'll bring up the image because what's the name of the image that we're seeing right now?
um, it's Calico Butterfly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Got you. We
So
gonna so you
that's
getting
the
ready.
image,
That's the image. So you getting ready to perform that poem right now, right?
and it's the piece is called Calico Butterfly.
All right. I'm bringing it on up, y'all. Go ahead, brother. You got the stage.
All right. She acronym searching, hoping, evolving. I found myself in the discarded 20-inch tube under the bridge, and I'm finally like, what do I have to lose? Possessions are non-temp, so now I find myself detaching from things. Even my dreams have grown tiny wings, heartbeats and flights in development. A warrior reciting dead man walking on the back of a Pegasus, galloping out doubt, running headlong into war, where fear left its rancid residue. So now I've become the unmasked you stick in the system, taking back my esteem. Fight Club inspired, I want to tear up some pretty things. Babylon gains a tenfold labyrinth filled with illusions, mirrors, and confusion. It makes it hard for us to see our true selves. I'm still recovering from living in a hue that must coexist in two halves. So don't believe our children don't know math. Because every year they found a way to subtract me from their regular classroom settings, placing me in special education classes. By the ninth grade, this slowly arresting development, I caught on fast, raised up my mind, soon followed my esteem and copper tone ass. So an ex-lover decides to ask me, what are you gonna do? But I was already full sprint, full stride. I just double back to the comments because, like I said, I detach from material things, leaving behind what I don't need. Although the melody of "Why Didn't You Stay" still plays in my mind, subsidizing has torn down that playground. I'm content with all the memories of the good times. Moi. So Mary wants to be a superwoman and try to boss the bull around. I just want her to sit down and breathe. Let her skin touch the breeze, sway with the leaves, surrounded by earth tones and calico butterflies that wing their way home.
Dad, wait, hold up. I said I was going to use this. Wait. Oh man, how you gonna put my man Stevie Wonder's line in there? He said Mary wants to be a superwoman and try to boss the bull around. That shows me your depth. Thank you very much. And then
Thank you.
you said another line about what has something that has wings now. What did you say? What was that line? You said
Even my dreams have grown tiny wings.
oh, I love that. Even my dreams have grown tiny wings. Oh man, I love that. I almost could be like, read it again, please, and say it now. Now, even change the pace for me so I can really take it in. Oh, thank you so much. So I want to show that image, y'all, because that's an poem called Calico Butterfly. And what I thought was really interesting about when we were conversing about this last night, you were talking about how it's not just about writing words to pages for in terms of poetry, but you like to combine art with poetry as well. So talk a little bit about what that is and the why behind that.
Um, I know I'm not sure like a lot of people might be interested not want to say interested, but know who this brother is. A brother named A. Rashid, and he does a lot of books and a lot of esoteric books and occult books, and he was talking about art being in the books. And I always, from the first book that Hops and I did, I wanted to put art in the book, and we had photographs in it, but I wanted to make sure that people got the imagery of this run, because it's not a particular said one run, but it's a collective of all of the runs and thoughts that I have. So these pieces have been hashed out, some from years, and just putting it together, but having an image to certain poems. And then in the book, I have certain uh, outlying lines that lead to the next poem, and having those images connect to those pieces and to all of it, so that people get the image and they link the image to the art. And so it's just like when you go to a gallery, they may put a title on it, but that's only giving you a small glimpse into what the artist was conveying. So that's why I wanted to have art throughout the book, so you could just get a feel of what it is that I may have been thinking. And these are just small captions of the thoughts that I had, that I
I love
wanted to
it.
just, that I wanted to be like hashed out and shown you an image. And like the praying hand image is like, I love that piece. That's from Mama's Prayer. I love that piece. That's like one of my favorite pieces. I actually have the painting hanging up in my home. So it's like
Oh, I love that.
a lot of the pieces that I had from the book that are in the book are actually painted. So
Mm,
it's not like digital. This is not digital art. This is like uh, a human did this art.
that's right.
Agni Henderson did this art. Then she
Nice.
transferred it to a digital form so that you could get the art in the book form. And
Wow.
so that's why I just wanted to be like a little mini gallery while you're reading, to bring some,
Nice.
some aesthetic to the book.
Yeah, I love that concept, and I wish more people thought that way. I love you just said that that was for a poem called Mama's Prayer. What about this image? I love this image because at first you kind of like, wait a minute, it's a woman's body, but then I think I see a tree, But then you see the brother at the bottom. What we doing right now? So explain the meaning behind this poem. We got that red, black, and green energy, but what's the meaning behind that
Um,
picture and its
I
connection to your poem?
I can't really connect it to a poem, but if there was any poem that it could connect to, it would be communication. But it's also a picture of rest, like
Mm,
after the run,
wow.
but then being surrounded by nature.
Hmm.
And then we have the red, black, and green colors. Um, if you want to, you can say it's a ode to uh Tribe Called Quest, Low End Theory, and there's a lot of imagery of women throughout the book, and it's almost like a not even almost it is like a love letter to women in a sense. Um, if you can look at the cover of the book, there's a little gem in that. So if you look at the art, you might be able to see something. I don't want to, because all art is interpretive and it's subject to change from one person to the next. So, but for me and Abney, when she showed it to me, she's like, "Do you see this? Do you see that image? Do you see something in it? Do you see something etheric in it?" And when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, I can't unsee it now."
Nice, nice, nice. And
If
it's
you
kind
can,
of what
if
I
you
was
can make,
saying. Yeah, you can. It's
if
you can
you,
interpret, but I can see it. Yeah.
okay, so if you can see it, then it's like, because I don't want to tell people, "Oh, do you see that?" Da, 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 da. I want them to get it and then they interpret it the way they see. Because some people just see like a, I don't know what they call like a rainbow in space, or it's colorful, or the light reflecting from suns, or however,
Mhm.
that's what that is. But it's a definite energy throughout that book. It's a a good bit of feminine energy in the book, and some of the pieces that you um will read it. For all those who get the book, you can email me because this is direct to consumer. Um, Indigo and Quill 7 at Gmail. Send the invoice and get you a nice book of poetry. So it's the runner's high, but these are the images and these are the things that I thought of, that I
Mhm.
wanted to have a clear image of what it is it would be like. Maybe if you could be in my mind while I'm running, or I'm
Nice.
experiencing this runner's high, and the highs and the lows, as our good brother from Chicago, Chance, talks about with him and Joey Badass. Like, the highs and the lows. It's like in running there are highs and there's are lows, because just like in life, you get up every morning, you don't want to run. There's times when you don't want to, but you got to. You got to get it done. And so moving through it, that's what the book entitles The Runner's High. Because to get to the runner's high, you got to run. You got to go through the ups and you got to go through the downs to make it home.
Man, I love it all day. Audience, what I want you to do at the very bottom of the page, you will see the email that you could reach out to get that book. Like he said, direct to consumer. We're not dealing with no middleman. So it's indigo and quill7 at gmail.com. You can contact him and say, hey, I want that book, and get it, and he'll invoice you and do all that good stuff. We're going to keep that down there for a while. I am just adoring everything that you're saying. I love that I'm taking the whole book vibe differently just from your explanation. And I love how art is exemplary of your feelings. Like you literally have things like when I went to your social media, I was like, ooh, what's that? Like, I was like this. I said, what is this? What is this about? Tell me what is going on, because I'm big into images, symbols. We're not talking about paying homage to symbols, but things that represent your thought process. So this is up in your social media. What does it represent for you though?
Transformation is also an indigenous. Because I'm from Georgia, and for those who are in indigenous community, the pyramid there is from a science that I do called agnihotra. and it's done to the circadian rhythms of sunrise and sunset. And I do that practice, and then the symbol of the frog, which is, it's been said that, America is the land of the frogs, and then Turtle Island, and then the feathers for the quill, the bears for, like, one of my nicknames was Bear. So um that's what that is. And then the mound pyramids that are here in America. So, and the transformation of the scarab beetle. So it's just like, and I think I may have a scarab, a real live scarab beetle that I have on one of my social media pages. So just that transformation and being home wherever you roam, that's what that symbolizes. But being home here.
Nice being home there. I love Savannah. Actually, I've been there before. It's such a beautiful place. In that, the trees but I ain't gonna get it twisted. I know some of the history too. Don't play with me in terms of our
Oh,
people and
it's
slaves and the energy that's there. Like even the when I did the interview with Corey, we dealt with the some of the architecture. You could see African symbols in the gates, African symbols in the concrete, things that we built, but put those images in there to remind us and make our mark that these things reflect who we are. People don't even know, but yeah, Savannah got some stuff with it. So the energies that come out of it, I think, are next level in terms of creativity, vision, but doing it in a way that's like, I'm from New York, so we all like, Broadway, Apollo Theater, versus being from a Savannah where it's more mellow, and so you take your excellence in a different way, and it manifests in a different way. So a way that I thoroughly appreciate. Now, just want to show this. We go into commercial break soon, but I want to show this anthology. Tell me a little bit about this anthology and its relationship to the work that you do.
So that book is from the Georgia Bars, and it was a good friend of mine, brother Kush, Amin Kush. He sent me a link, and they were looking for poets to submit pieces into that, and my piece actually got in there. So, and the piece that I performed, Calico Butterflies, is in there. And Corey Hops, his piece, he has I think one or two pieces that are in there as well. And so, this is something that came out this year. So it's a lot of poets from the Georgia area. And I'm just proud to be in it, because it's a self-published author who's in an anthology. This is not something that I'm like from some clearinghouse. This is some young man from Savannah, Georgia, who put his book out there into the world, and now it's in one of my pieces that's in my book is in this book.
Nice, big time. And so, are these poets that you deal with these poets on a regular, or it's just kind of poets from all over the country?
It's just poets all from all over Georgia.
All over Georgia.
Some of
Okay,
them,
got
some of them, yeah, some of them are local, and some of them may be from surrounding cities or counties.
you.
But all of us are from Georgia, and our pieces made it into this book.
Nice. I'm loving that. And so this anthology that says 2000, does that say 2025?
Yes,
Yeah, right. So that just
yes.
came out. So, but when did your book come out though?
Uh, July of 24.
Oh, wow. So it is pretty new.
Yes.
Oh, I love it. I'm loving that. So this is good in the career of your book. We coming in the early stages of your book. That's what I'm talking about. Look, your book only
Yeah.
been out a year, and you already got a podcast, and went to a book fair, and that's what I'm talking about. You want that type of activity in your repertoire when you're talking about your
Thank
book
you.
and moving it
Thank you
forward.
for having us.
Oh man, I love it. This is how we get down. Once you in the Soulful Chicago Book Fair family, it's a wrap. We're getting ready to make it just keep going. So that's what we're gonna do. So what we're gonna do real quick, y'all, is go to a commercial break. But when we come back, we are gonna get more into who we talking to right now. Because there's some background energy, and When we come back, I want to get a little bit into the productions that they put on. And I'm going to show a little video of his work. So stay tuned. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back after these messages.
Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair.
Hey family, this is Charles Humphrey of MCH Publishing, and I'm here with Ashada, and we at the Soulful Chicago Book what?
This is the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair, slamming.
We getting down in Hyde Park. Just run it down, my sister. Just tell us, for the people, a little bit about what we're doing here today and why.
You know, this is the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair, and this month is very important. I feel like we don't give it the type of recognition that it needs. But beyond that, I do all things literary, and we have so many ancestors that have taken a tradition of writing and done great things. Well, we have those of us that are carrying on that tradition, and nobody knows about them until now. So the Soulful Chicago Black History Book Fair is allowing us to tell our stories according to ourselves for our own benefit. And it's just beautiful. I mean, she could have been here today if you wasn't here, but if you were, it's been amazing. People came in consistently, children, and we have children's authors, we have nonfiction authors, we have fiction authors. This is really good, and it's about taking our own power in our own hands and doing what we do on the literary tip, though.
Right.
I gotta work, but I can't help it. Everything going too smooth. Now I just about bring my African shit like this. Bring in the African shit. I love it. Yo, the Soulful Chicago Book Fair is coming back for Black History Month on February 15th, y'all. February 15th of 2026. Why? Because let's get the activity going on. I'm Black history is cool, but I'm really about Black future. That's really what I get down with. So this is about, we are writers that come out and we tell our experiences from our perspective for our benefit, right? No shade on nobody else, but we're not going to deal with other people's versions of who we are, right? So, there's the website right at the bottom there. If you are an author and you want to be a part, go right there to that website, soulfulchicagobookfair.com, and just go to the button that says author submission and submit your work. And we will, boom, get you approved. You do have to be approved now. We don't just be bringing it. We don't want your money like that. We just want your presence, bringing the power. So anyway, without further ado, we're going to come back. Today, we are talking to a brother from Savannah, Georgia. I like to say all three of his names. Rasshaan Bolden Bay. That's that alliteration at the end. Rasshaan Bolden Bay. So y'all can get that. Let me bring him back to the stage. What's up, brother? Good to see you back with us.
Yeah.
And man, we've talked so much about your book, the cover, the art, love the connection of you and the art. If you're watching and you want to comment, feel free. If you're watching on YouTube, you can comment. If you're watching on Facebook Live, you can comment. And we'll show your comment if it's decent. I'll make sure you come out, but give my man a shout out. Now, I want to show and I want to talk a little bit about, and I'm going to put your email at the bottom again, because the book that we've been talking about, y'all, if you want to order it, the email is there for you to contact, Indigo and Quill 7@gmail. But you do shows, and I just want to show that energy. So therapy sessions, an open mic event. What? For creatives and artists to express and release. And I like how it said 10 to sit, 5 to spit. Now, you want to come in here and do your poetry, bring your $5, stop playing. So talk a little bit about this. Is this something that's ongoing? What's the whole energy behind why you do this? And is this your event?
Yeah, so Corey Hops and I, and as well as the collective of myself, Corey, Balance, Michael Harrington, and Corey Phillips, who, like I said before, we affectionately call Mo B. So we do these performances and we do these open mics and hold the open mics for people to come in the city who are poets, authors. And it all started from our good friend Balance having us do, there was a coffee shop here in Savannah at the Oglethorpe Mall at a cafe called KB's Cafe, who they let us have free range and I so appreciate them, and I really want them to get a new space so that we can continue what we had going on. And so we've been going to different spots doing these open mics, and it's just for the creatives, just for people who want to come and work through their pieces. We had a young man who came, and he did a piece, and he was kind of nervous about sharing it, and he was in the audience, and he first was like, I don't want to spit, but then he did it, and I related to the piece because he had like an open letter to his childhood, and he was basically saying like, I loved it when you would say what you really meant, or you would say things and it wouldn't be filtered so much, or I didn't care so much about what people thought of me when I spoke or I said something, or I had genuine connections with people. And so it was just like, this is the space to come and do that, because we are at post uh pandemic situations, and people, some places like Atlanta, they've been already out, but like people are kind of coming out and expressing themselves again, and coming
Right.
back into the public. And so this is a space for that, where you can work your ideas, play your music, play your guitar, your drums. And we've had a lot of poets, but not so much as far as like musical artists, and like some singers when we were at KB Cafe. And so it just was something that we wanted to do for ourselves first, but at the same time keeping something going on, because there's so many other supporters. There's a supporter we have, Miss B and her husband. They come and they support, and they do their thing. And I see them throughout the city while I'm working, or I see them down, or I just see them out and about. And they come and they support our function.
Loving that, yo. That, because I'm gonna tell you something. One of the things is a dude out here in Chicago named Theaster Gates, and he has mad locations for mad artistic things to happen, whether it be sculpting, painting, film, and all these things. And I saw him in a documentary, and he was talking about how one of the things in our community that's an issue is we don't have spaces to do things, like venues to do things. What's up? And so the creation, even this show, creating an avenue to talk to writers, Black writers, be quiet and let us speak. Let us tell you the stories we weave, right? And so you doing that, I think is so important, because people need a space. They're not courageous enough to create the space per se. They busy trying to be nervous about what they got to say. So I love that you're creating a space for that to happen. And I want to share with y'all a little piece. We got some video of you at one of these events. You said the one I'm about to show, you said it was something recent.
Yes, this was last Wednesday.
Okay, cool. Last Wednesday. So y'all be ready for a treat. I'm getting ready to show it. And here we go.
Soon come. Second wind. Muscling the memory. Purpose aligned with the stars born symmetry. Watching my son being born. Pushed from the heavens. Smile as bright as he. He holding my hand melts my heart to humility. And God grants us precious gifts. He raising me to father and student, provider and protector. He has made me remember when I was born again.
Nice. I got a chance to, how many children you have? Oh man, what? Hold on. You can't hear me? Okay, hold on. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know what happened. Don't be trying to mess. So, how many children do you have?
One.
Right. So, I got a chance to meet him last night, y'all. Energy, fire. What? When he saw that I was on here, he was like, I want to be on the podcast. I want to be on the podcast. Look, he probably would be here right now if he wasn't asleep, right? So,
Oh, he was already. Once he
Say
saw
that
the setup, he was ready. But his mom, yeah.
exactly. But the thing that's dope is for me, having met the soul that he's talking about in that poem about his son was great because I understand like what happens when you have a child. Mine just left for work. She's 22 years old. But the thing is, uh, they mean something to us. And I told you last night about my book. I have a book called Beating Black Kids. That's about not beating children to discipline them or rear them. But in it, I have a chapter called You Got Chosen. And when they choose us, it's like, what's up? What did they choose you for? Right. So that I love that you paid homage to him. We got a comment here. Naima Latif. What's up? Naima Latif is the CEO of Female Solution, but she says, beautiful expression of the experience of childbirth from a man's perspective. See what I'm saying? Which I love. Thank you, Naima, to the core. I'm glad you got that. Which brings me to, man, when I bring people on the show, I kind of research their life. And one of the things that I saw was a great representation of family. So not only are you expressing what you're expressing with the childbirth of your son, but it come from somewhere. And I just want to share this real quick. Look at this. Now, this, guys, is a picture of his father and mother. Tell us what we're looking at right now.
This is artwork that my parents have. That they made that artwork that's there, and they still make artwork now. Like I was at another book fair where there was a brother who was another writer, and he had some of my dad pieces, and Corey was kind of upset with him because he was like, "Oh yeah, he gave me that piece." He said, "Gave your daddy charged me." So so this is that, like, it's continuing. My dad still makes art. My mom has crafts, and so they've been doing that kind of business since I know them, since I've been alive. So that's what they do. And my
Now,
mom's
go ahead, go ahead.
no, my mom, it was she still does hair, but she was she had her own salon, so that's part of the whole Bolden Enterprises thing. She had a salon for a long time called Bolden Beautiful, like the
Mm,
stories, so it was
nice.
Bolden Beautiful. And she retired from that. She's a nurse. So this is just the history of that.
Nice. Now, this is what I want to point out. I'm always looking at the story behind the story. So, what we're dealing with is a brother and a sister working together and creating art. They bring a brother in the world. Guess what he do? Art. He finds a way to create art. It's written art, but then he embraces visual art and combines it to his work. So this is the beauty of making a decision to create a family with a certain vibe in mind, a certain theme in mind. Your children are going to be reflections of you. Period. Point blank. If you are a yelling, wilding, going crazy parent, you're going to yield that type of child. If you are a creative couple who creates art and have businesses, what do you say? You're going to get my book direct to consumer. I don't need no middleman. So these are the lessons that get ingrained in the offspring. And now he got his own offspring doing things. I love the energy and I love the family. The reason I want to bring in, here they go, all of them with their fine selves. So here, I noticed longer ago because your locks were shorter. Um,
Yeah.
but I want to show it because in the images that I kept bringing up of your family, everybody happy. They're just straight up happy. Now, in this picture, it's your mom, your dad, and your sisters, correct?
Yes.
Are you the only son?
I'm the only son, yes. And then
Oh,
the young lady in the pink, this
uh-huh.
picture and maybe a couple of ones that the outfits may be the same.
Okay.
This is all her doing. She's the baby of the family, Kaisha Bolden, and she's
Okay.
the family historian. So she makes us capture these moments so that we could have that remembrance of family.
Oh man, let me tell you something. What I could see in just going through your social media, I could see that family is a thing. Like it is a thing that you might even take for granted, but it speaks to who you are and what you're choosing to focus on. Even the fact that you've said that in your art, in your book, you said it's a lot of women represented there. Why? Because you seem to have a balance with women. Like you got women in your life, your mom, your sisters, and it doesn't seem to be turmoil. That doesn't mean there are no arguments, this and that. But you can tell when a family embraces each other. I was just watching something with Steve Harvey, and a person was talking about their family, and the family wasn't in accord. Wasn't no happiness, wasn't no smiling, wasn't no. And I told you when we were talking last night, it was important for me raising my daughter, that she have a household where where it's calm and happy. Look at this image here. I just love it. Of the posse, the dad, who else is in this picture? Everybody getting it in. What's happening there?
Those are my two nephews, Jalen. Shout out to JB. He asked me to specifically shout him out. So shout out JB. I hope you're doing well
Cool.
this morning. And then my other nephew down at the bottom, who's much bigger than all of us now. He's a football player. He's in South Carolina. I think it's University or Erskine College. He's playing football. Get better, Cam. I know you weren't feeling well, but yeah, it's like that's the family. And my mom, and I think on Social Matic I think it was the picture with my mom. I call her Hustle Matic because she always have some ways for another stream of income. So, and my dad, who's he's the classic dad, worker. You know, he's retired now, so he kicking back, chilling, but he's still working too. So he's still on the
Yeah.
move and on the go.
It's just so important to me because, first of all, and when we was talking about your smile, we ain't putting you on the spot, but so many brothers try not to smile, right? It's sort of like we'd be laughing because if I'm around you, you're gonna laugh. This is simple, right? But then I'll say let's take a picture, and then they go, ah! They be trying to suppress the smile. And it's like, that's your innate self. Our needs have to be free. But I think you and your willingness to smile, you don't even have to think about it. It's just a real thing. But this background of family to me is the reality. Like it's the why. This is another image of you and your family. And here goes some more Black men. Who are we looking at in this picture?
That's my uncle and his wife, Serena. My dad, JB, Cam, my sister, and my other sister Yvette, who even for me like doing poetry, it's like she instilled that discipline of doing things over and over and over again. Like if I was messing with her while she was, at the house in the phone, like this is when we young now, like, but just practice this, do that. So I attribute, and it's all in the book too. I give them several praises for helping me establish myself as an artist, for based on the inspiration that they give me in their lives and the things that they deal with, and being able to express that through the word and tell my story through this book. Like it's my second book, but it's my first book. Because Hops and I did the collaborative piece, urban journalism, but Runner's High is my first book that I published by myself, and I wanted to have that represented family wise when we talk about the image here, like family wise, like what these people mean to me.
It's obvious to me. Like it's literally obvious. Like you don't have to even, you didn't have to say nothing to me. I was able to just deduce. Look at them pictures. Look at all them Black men looking like each other, and look at everybody together smiling. Like it was just real basic, but it does show brothers. Stay around, chill out. be in accordance with your mate, please, so that that energy can be duplicated. And speaking of which, we're going to bring another piece of poetry up, but let me show this bad boy. Don't y'all get it twisted up in here, baby. Wifey, 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 wifey. Yay, we love a wifey. So when did you and your wife meet? And you're starting your own new legacy with your son. Yeah.
Yeah, so we met in 2007 through a
Okay.
mutual friend, and we've been in Atlanta, we've been in Alabama. So for the Alabama people who know us, yeah, like, and we got married in 2016. So it's 9 years now. Next year be 10, September.
Dope, dope. We love it. I tried to get wifey on the screen earlier, but I was getting her when she was waking up. I was like, wifey, come over
Yeah.
here. But anyway, yeah.
It she was like, "Oh, is the camera on now?" Like,
Right,
yes, it's
right.
on now. So yeah, and
That's
the
cool.
funny thing is, we were working through, setting this up, and I was like, "Oh, it's kind of low. I can't hear it." And I guess when the show started, it's like volumes higher, and so she's like, "It is so loud." I'm like, I didn't know it was that, because for me, the first time I was like, "Oh, I wonder if it's gonna pick up," but yeah, it
Yeah,
definitely
we
did.
rocking. We rocking and rolling. So you have a poem. I want you to tell me what's the name of that poem, and then we're gonna rock out. We even got some imagery with that poem. So what is it?
This piece is called "Light Beams," and this was dedicated to my wife. We, in the sense of talking family and adulting and creating legacy. So this is what that piece is about.
All right,
Uh,
hold on. We're gonna bring it to the page. Well, hold on. We're gonna bring it to the stage real quick. Let me bring it. Let me get us first, and then let me get this image up, and we'll rock and roll from there. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Take the stage, brother.
all right, fingertips to hips, unfasten your lips, strip your inhibitions to lie on your light. Run my fingers across the blue hues given to you by moonlit nights. Write sonnets for you like summer dressed in the sun. Linger in your lace, taste your texture, steady your coarseness inside your forest, a divine fortress, only portrayed by the humblest of artists. Chose 1,000 words to canvas your figure. Drawn to your digits, attempting to love you from soul to soul. Inspire fire to poise passion, to love forever after in your everlasting.
Is that it right there?
That's it.
Hey, sisters, he taken, so stop it. I just showed you a picture. I just showed you a picture of his wife. Look, let me show it again so you don't get it twisted. I will close this one and I'll bring it back up. So you see, that poem might have made you like, oh my God, that's a beautiful poem to a woman. But yes, that's the woman that it was written for. And I do appreciate you sharing that because I think it is so important to be able to display Black love, to be able to articulate Black love. And that is without, we're not talking about what we hear in our music. What we hear in our music is like lust, 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 blah, blah, blah. And there's no real appreciation for nothing. But that was a beautiful piece. And like I said, any sister can understand and hear, oh, dip. Okay. He taking it there. That's beautiful. But you did it in such a tactful way and such beautiful poetry. It's crazy that this hour is almost over. We actually have like 3 minutes left, but I want to. There's so much I want to ask. Talk about the future of the book. The purpose of the book, like what you really wanted, what impact you wanted to have with it, and then what is the future you want for your book?
The impact is I just wanted to be able to display my skill. One, uh, two, tell my story through the pieces that I put together. Also, why I say it's a big feminine presence in the book. If you look at the artwork through the book, and some of the first pieces that I have, if I can leaf through while I'm talking, I start out with the character of mankind, and it kind of gets into talking about not women specifically, but women or the feminine energy of Mother Earth. That ties into that. Like I really wanted to get that uh message out of, like, what are we doing to the earth? How are we going to protect the earth? How are we going to preserve the earth? And so that also translates into what are we going to do with our women? How are we going to protect them? And how do we move forward from where we at now? And just the different pieces that are in the book, you can kind of get that presence. I have another one called The City, and an image that has it's a collage that is of a woman, but it represents the city and the all the different things that come with the city. That's like another one of my favorite pieces, art pieces that are in the book. And for the future of it, I just want people to, tie the words with the images, and know that they're getting art. A lot of times people price things, or they when the good brother at KV's Cafe, Kenya, told me, he was like, man, when you set your price, that's your price, because I just don't have words in this book. This is a full experience. And so I want people to know that they're getting a full poetry experience. They're getting a full art experience. And so this is something they can put on their shelf. They can see the artwork of it and go throughout the piece. And, it can be something that you can read over and over, and you can share it with other people. There's not too much raunchiness, as we talked about with the piece that I just read. That there's not a lot of that in there, because just being tactful and wanting people to understand the skill of it. A lot of people do erotic pieces, or this, that, and the third, or some people call them pee poems, if you to be not to be graphic, but and it's like, is it, yeah, like that's cool, but it's like, as you mature, you like, yeah, I think I know how to do that. Especially if you have children. Yeah, I think I know how to do that. I don't need you to explain that one to me. But it's just, I just want people to understand that they're going to get a great piece of art, something that's going to stand the test of time. And I want to thank my nephew for telling me that he was reading it yesterday. So that's
Nice.
that's a big thing from a young person. He's an avid reader, very smart young man. Both of my nephews are, and like my son, he's an avid reader too. But it's just the art of it, and because everything has become commodified in a certain way. But when you have great art, you can use the art to heal. You can use the art to inspire yourself, and you can use the art to revolt, in a sense. I just had a experience. Yeah, I just had an experience with Audrey Lorde, looking at some of her documentaries and understanding that I may need to be a little bit more courageous in my speaking. And so that's something that I really want to improve in. Like, I know we had a couple of, in both of my pieces, it's just like, it takes a lot to share that stuff. Writing it is one thing. Sharing it and getting on the camera, it's another thing. But
That's right.
It is what it is.
So my computer went slow for a minute, so I might have froze. But let me just say this, brother. Thank you so much for bringing everything today, sharing your wisdom. We love the book. Y'all see that email at the bottom, indigo and quill7@gmail. Our time is up, dag, and I wanted to see the pictures in the book and all that. But now you got to go buy it, and then we can see the book. Thank you for being here and for sharing. Give Michael my love. Tell him write a book as a little boy, and I'll have him on the show, no doubt. And
we're gonna work on that so he can be on the show.
No, do it. My daughter's first book came out when she was 7, and y'all heard him say that the young men in his family are ferocious readers. I want to say that, but look at his background. the background is books, period. So you know where you got it from, Honest. Y'all be here next Tuesday. I love y'all. Thank you for being here. And let's take it
Thank
out
you
with
for
the
having
female
me.
solution. No doubt about it. It's my pleasure. You rocked and rolled, and I love the work. So peace, y'all. Until next
Peace.
Tuesday.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, zhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jareh. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.